Welcome to Lexivia English. Ready to take your English to the next level? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. So sit back, listen carefully, and enjoy the journey.
The day the truth broke through. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when the world fractured. Not with an earthquake or a war, but with an impossible, silent shift. Every person on Earth at precisely 7 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time found themselves unable to lie. The ability to speak a falsehood, to hide an uncomfortable truth, to even imply something untrue was gone. Words formed in minds, but if they contained a lie, they simply wouldn't come out. Thoughts remained private, but spoken words were now only truth. At first, there was confusion. A child tried to tell their parent they had finished their homework when they hadn't, but the words caught in their throat. A politician started to make a grand promise they knew they couldn't keep and found themselves silent. Everywhere, sounds of shock and surprise filled the air. Some people laughed, thinking it was a strange dream. Others cried, realizing the enormity of what had happened. The simple, everyday lies that grease the wheels of social interaction were suddenly impossible. Families became battlegrounds of raw honesty. "No, I don't like your new haircut," a husband might find himself saying, instead of the usual polite white lie. Friends confessed secret resentments. Bosses told employees exactly why they hadn't gotten a promotion. The world, accustomed to a thin veil of polite deception, was suddenly stripped bare. The initial shock quickly turned into a dizzying mix of relief, anger, and profound awkwardness. Humanity, for the first time, was forced to confront itself without any filters. The unveiling of secrets. The immediate aftermath was chaotic. Every secret, every hidden agenda, every unspoken thought that was intended to mislead began to surface. In courtrooms, witnesses could only tell the absolute truth, leading to swift, undeniable justice in many cases. Criminals, unable to deny their actions, often confessed on the spot. Governments found their carefully constructed narratives crumbling as leaders were forced to admit to corruption, hidden dealings, and past mistakes. Economies reeled advertisements, now only capable of stating facts, became bland and unconvincing. Our product is a functional, mass-produced item, an ad might state, instead of promising eternal happiness. Stock markets plummeted as financial institutions were forced to reveal their true stability or lack thereof. Businesses that relied on exaggeration or misdirection quickly failed. Trust, once a valuable but often fragile commodity, was suddenly the only currency. Social interactions changed dramatically. Relationships based on a foundation of pleasantries rather than genuine connection often dissolved. People realized how much of their daily conversation was built on small untruths, flattering remarks, or convenient evasions. The quiet honesty that replaced it was often painful, but also, for many, deeply liberating. The world became a louder, more honest place, filled with uncomfortable silences and abrupt, revealing confessions. Facing the mirror. As the initial shock wore off, a deeper introspection began. People were forced to look at their own lives, their own choices, and their own motivations without the comforting illusion of self-deception. Artists found new inspiration in raw human emotion. Writers explored the profound depths of true connection and the pain of absolute honesty. Psychology saw a boom as people grappled with their unvarnished selves. Education systems transformed. Students could no longer pretend to understand concepts they didn't, leading to more focused and effective teaching methods. Teachers were forced to admit when they didn't know an answer, fostering a new kind of collaborative learning. The pursuit of knowledge became a pure quest for understanding, unclouded by the desire to impress or conform. However, this unwavering honesty also brought significant challenges. Diplomacy between nations became incredibly difficult. Every negotiation was laid bare. Every ulterior motive revealed. International agreements, which often relied on subtle compromise and artful ambiguity, became almost impossible to forge. The world, while undeniably truthful was also dangerously vulnerable and exposed. The price of absolute truth, the lack of lies, revealed the true state of global inequality and suffering. International aid organizations, unable to sugarcoat the realities of poverty or conflict, presented stark, undeniable facts. This led to an outpouring of genuine empathy and a greater, more focused effort to address global issues, but also a profound sense of helplessness for some, confronted with problems too vast to easily solve. Privacy became a complex issue. While thoughts remained private, spoken truths could inadvertently reveal sensitive information about others. Doctors, for instance, could only state the absolute truth about a patient's condition, even if it contained details about another family member. This led to new social rules emerging around what information was appropriate to speak aloud, even if true. The entertainment industry struggled. Fiction, by its nature, was a form of make-believe, but the line between creative storytelling and deliberate falsehood became blurred. Documentaries thrived, focusing on pure, unadulterated reality. However, many traditional forms of drama and comedy, which often relied on misunderstanding or deception, had to reinvent themselves entirely. The world was learning that absolute truth, while pure, was also incredibly demanding. Building a new reality. 1 year after the truth broke through, humanity was navigating a new, stark reality. The world was not a perfect utopia, free of conflict. Arguments still happened, but they were often shorter, more direct, and sometimes, surprisingly, more easily resolved once all parties were forced to admit their true feelings and intentions. Trust, though painfully earned, was now deeper and more resilient than ever before. New social norms emerged. People learned the art of silence when a truth was unnecessary or unkind. The value of empathy and thoughtful communication became paramount. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Became a silent mantra for many. communities began to rebuild relationships on foundations of absolute honesty, leading to stronger, though sometimes more fragile, bonds. Scientists and researchers thrived, sharing discoveries and challenges without any pretense or competition. Collaboration on global problems, from climate change to disease, accelerated dramatically as every obstacle and breakthrough was shared openly and honestly. The path forward was still uncertain, but humanity was facing it with an unprecedented clarity. The world had shed its illusions, and in doing so had discovered a new, profound strength in the unyielding power of truth. The story of what would happen next was being written, one honest word at a time.